Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to bring Deborah back for a couple of pieces in English. First one is called Weep You No More, and this was written by an English composer named Roger Quilter, sort of an unknown composer who wrote a lot of really beautiful songs. And this will be followed by American composer Samuel Barber's Sure on This Shining Night.
Look how the stormy mountains
much, ladies and gentlemen. We very much appreciate coming and performing for you. We'd like to lighten it up just a little bit. The great Duke Ellington said that there were just two kinds of music, good music and bad music. We got some Duke Ellington for you, which is definitely good music. Don't get around much anymore, in a sentimental mood, and of course, things ain't what they used to be. Thanks again for being a great audience. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
There's more chairs over here. There's a few in between people on this side too. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's 40th anniversary gala. We've actually kicked off some programs in January for our year of 40 years anniversary. This is the first year that we're doing a One Book, One Community, which is War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. And we picked the book for a couple of various reasons. One is that in addition to it being a book, it's also been made into a radio show, and we are going to have radio players in the upcoming months to produce it. And in addition, there were 2 films that were done for the movie. So it has everything that a library contains, from books to AV materials. So to begin the ceremony today is the first person that I'm going to introduce is Jesse White. All of you know him as the Secretary of State. Most of you associate him with the driver's license program. But he is also the state librarian. And Jesse's held this office. He is the, I think, second longest Secretary of State, I believe. In addition to that, as far as Jesse's career, he was born in June 23rd, 1934. So, and he was born in Altoona, Illinois. He went to the Alabama State University, where he played baseball and basketball. And he also served as in the 101st Airborne Division as a paratrooper. In addition to that, I think a lot of you know him for the Jesse White tumbling team, which is not only known here, but worldwide. And he founded that in 1959, so it's quite a few years. In addition, the one thing, I was a political science major, and I found this just astounding, frankly. In 2002, when he ran for re-election as Secretary of State, he carried all 102 counties in the state of Illinois. That, I think, is amazing. And based on that, Jesse obviously is a very popular person. He's well known, and I'd like to introduce him to kick off our ceremony. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Ron. Ron, I promise not to cut your throat. But thank you very much for allowing me an opportunity to come to this wonderful, wonderful facility. I've had the great pleasure of serving as your Secretary of State for the past 14 years, and I want to thank you for the job. My mission is to help make the roads of Illinois the safest ever. This office, as I indicated before, is the largest of its kind in the nation. 4,000 employees, a $396 million budget, 138 offices, and 23 agencies. I also serve as the head librarian for the state of Illinois, and so I'm at home in this wonderful institution of learning. I have the 4,000 employees, a $396 million budget, 130 offices, and 23 agencies. As the head librarian, I represent 5,000 libraries, and we distribute about $77 million a year to these wonderful institutions of learning. I also serve as the head of the literacy program, where individuals who come to our great state want to learn English as a second language, obtain their GED, and to become better educated and better informed. And then, of course, the organ and tissue donor program, which is dear to my heart. Here in Illinois, we have 5.2 million Illinoisans who have signed to become organ donors. However, there are 5,000 people on the waiting list as we speak, and each year, about 300 people die because the organs have not arrived in a timely manner. We ask that when you're alive and well, give blood. When you're no longer here, give organs. When you've done those three things, you would have made a positive impact upon society, considering the fact that one person can provide life or improve the quality of life for 25 individuals. You may not have a need today, you may not have a need tomorrow, but sometime during your lifetime, you or someone that you may know will have a need for an organ. We just hope that when that moment arrives, there will be smooth transition. We have a lady here by the name of Connie Boatman. She is my new director of the Organ and Tissue Donor Program. Where's Connie? Could you come forward, please? And we have with us Tom Benigno. Tom is my chief of staff. Tom, could you come forward? I've known Tom Benigno for about 40 years. And when I became the Cook County Recorder of Deeds, he was my chief of staff. And then when I became the Secretary of State, I decided that I needed someone who I could consider to be one of the best and the brightest, one of the sharpest knives in the drawer. And so I asked Tom to serve with me. Tom has been innovative in many areas within the Office of the Secretary of State. There was a lady whose son had passed away, and she had to go down to Florida, and she didn't have any identification to get on the plane. And so we were able to come up with all that was required to issue her a state ID. Then Tom came up with the bright idea that, you know, why should we have senior citizens renew their state ID every 4 years? They don't have to drive anything. All they have to do is just use it for check cashing purposes and for other reasons. So he said that we should not ever ask senior citizens to come back into our facility to get their state ID. So then he said, why don't we make it free? I said, that sounds like a good idea to me. So thanks to Tom Benigno, senior citizens, you got it free. And I think Tom is running for something, but you know, we stop and think about it. This gentleman was a chief of staff for the second largest Recorder of Deeds office in the country. 6 million people make up Cook County. And then he became the chief of staff for the Secretary of State, which consists of 13 million people. I think if he could handle the Cook County Recorder of Deeds office and of course handle Secretary of State's office, I think he's qualified to handle the village of Norwich. What do you think? So Tom, we wish you well. And as I close out, as was indicated, I coach a team called the Jesse White Tumblers. I was a gymnast as a kid, and I taught gymnastics in college. I also taught school for the Chicago Board of Education Park District and YMCA, well, physical education. And I was asked to pull in a gym show, and from the one gym show in December 1959 came the Jesse White Tumbling Team. We've had over 13,500 young people to come through that wonderful program. At last count, only 115 have gotten themselves into trouble with the law. It's been enough to combat juvenile delinquency. We tell our young people, thank you, that they have to become leafless, smokeless, and pipeless. The only time they can practice pharmacy is after they've earned a white coat. You know what I'm talking about, no drugs. And then they cannot drop out of school to become a part of a new program called SWU, Sidewalk University, where they get themselves into trouble with the law, and then it costs we, the taxpayers, between $20,000 and $60,000 a year to put one person in prison for 1 year. 83% of the people in prison today have not graduated from high school. So now you know who they are, I know who they are. It's important for we as parents, adults, and leaders to get behind an effort to make sure that we give these young people the tools that are necessary for them to grow tall and straight. As I take my seat, I want to applaud the wonderful people who use this wonderful library and those who have the great opportunity of serving the people who use this library. I want to thank them for their giving and caring spirit, for making a difference in the lives of those in need. I espouse a philosophy of life that says that when you come through this world and you become successful, you give back. I also believe, too, that you should do something good for someone every day. If you get a chance to look at today's Sun Times on page 18, you get a little chance to see a little article about yours truly and about my effort to help others, our young people, to grow tall and straight. I take my hat off to the people of this wonderful community for establishing this wonderful facility. I've visited about 2,500 of my 5,000 libraries. I'm halfway through in 14 years. And so I plan to continue to support these wonderful libraries because they serve as a safety net, the light in the tunnel for a lot of individuals. And we just need more resources, and just rest in the knowledge that working with Tom down in Springfield, we're going to make sure that we continue to support these wonderful institutions of learning, these storehouses and warehouses of knowledge, because they are used more now than ever before because of the economy. I don't know how many different groups have lined up to use the computers, but in most libraries, sometimes within a day, 30 units of about 25 computers have been used. So I just want to applaud, commend, and thank you for your giving and caring spirit and for making a difference in the lives of this wonderful community. I will take my seat, but I do want you to know that I try to speak about 7 different languages. And so I'm going to say to my Polish friends, my name is Jesse Biały. And to my Italian friends, I'm Jesse Bianco. And to my Spanish friends, Jesus Blanco, Secretario del Estado. Mucho gusto, la familia. Thank you. In Irish, I'm Jesse O'White. Thank you.